Let's talk about how you can be more productive at work. And first of all, very important for this is going to be to have a great relationship with your boss so that in case you run up against issues where you're feeling you're getting overworked or your projects are too complex and you need help from your boss, you need to have a great strategic relationship with them. And I've made a free guide on my website that you can download. I'll drop the link in the description below for you to check that out. It has very easy steps that you can implement this week that'll help you get a better relationship with your boss and to help you towards this more productive space with your boss. And you can ask him for feedback. It'll be a safer space for you. And this guide will help you transform your career and get you towards the success that you're aspiring to get to. And it'll help you turn your boss into a partner for your success. So essentially you want to have their help when you're completing your projects so that you can go back to them and ask for help or tell them you need something from them or whatever it may be. You want them to support you in all cases. So check out the free guide to help you establish that relationship with your boss. You could be even more effective at that relationship. So do check out my free guide linked in the description below for some additional tips for you. But back to the topic of how to be more productive. In addition to working with your boss, you also are in control of how you can be more productive. We're going to cover 5 areas in this video that you can be more productive in. The first one is setting clear and achievable goals. The second one is prioritizing and organizing your tasks. The third one is eliminating distractions. The fourth one is time management. And the fifth one is maintaining a work-life balance. We'll talk about each of these areas individually. So let's start with the first one, which is setting clear goals. It's really important to define clearly what it is you're trying to accomplish and to break down that objective into smaller, manageable, and, very importantly, achievable tasks. So you want to make sure you know where you're going and you want to know what can get you there and that the points that can get you there are achievable for you and manageable. So this can create a lot of clarity for you, hopefully, around the project and what you're trying to achieve. It'll help you stay focused and motivated on it, and that'll help you that you're actually moving towards the outcome that you're hoping to achieve. If you don't know where you're going to be, leading your ship in all sorts of directions. You're not going to be going for the right path. So make sure you know what it is you're trying to get to and how you can get there with individual, small, manageable steps. But what is a good manageable step? I think a good manageable step is a task that you can complete within 20 or 30 minutes and where you can then take a break. Anything longer than that is probably unrealistic. I've made this mistake a lot in the past where I've sat down and I said, I'll do this for an hour and then after that I'll take a break. And then what happens is you work on it for 2 hours and you haven't taken a break. You haven't really been that productive because maybe you got sidetracked. So it's actually more efficient to sit down for 20 or 30 minutes and really making sure you're staying focused on the task you're trying to do in those 20 or 30 minutes, and then taking a break. The break will recharge you and it'll help you complete the next more important task. So when you plan your day, set a daily goal of completing 2 of these critical tasks a day. No more. It's important to keep a manageable workload and to figure out what are the 2 critical tasks that I absolutely need to do today that'll move me in the right direction. And you will get a lot done if you do that. And if you don't get anything else done that day, you can feel very accomplished about that. It'll motivate you to keep going. And then obviously tomorrow you'll return and you'll do 2 more very important tasks. So that's the first step. And then you can do some larger scale planning as well if you want. I find that that's very helpful for me to stay on the right track. So you can consider doing a weekly planning where you, for each week, have a weekly goal and all of the days in that week obviously should lead up towards that goal. This can help you distinguish between important and unimportant tasks or tasks that are diverting your focus from what you actually want to be working on. So it's very useful to set these weekly goals. And you can go even broader than that. You can set monthly or quarterly goals so that you're really on top of your longer term journey with your project or with wherever you're trying to go. So make sure you do all of that. You do daily planning, weekly planning, and probably monthly or quarterly planning. I recommend all 3 of those. Next, let's talk about prioritizing and organizing your tasks. You want to prioritize your tasks based on importance and urgency. How important are they, and do they need to get done today? Those are in constant tension, and you'll need to figure that out for each individual task every day, because these might change from one day to the next. So create a to-do list or use a productivity tool to stay organized and ensure that you tackle these high priority items first. High priority items are not necessarily the ones that are most urgent. They're likely the ones that are actually most important. So figure out which ones are most important and urgent, and those should be the ones that you do today. When you prioritize, it's also important to avoid multitasking, because that can really decrease your efficiency. If you switch between tasks, it takes some time to warm up to the new task and then you're returning to the old one. So there's always a little bit of a context switching that you have to do, which can slow you down. It can make you less efficient. It leads to errors. It diminishes your focus. So I absolutely recommend staying focused on one critical task and avoid multitasking. So in terms of organizing yourself and prioritizing, make sure you do your 2 critical tasks first thing in the morning. Those are the first 2 things you do, so that whatever happens next, if it distracts you from the task, you have the most important things already done. And nothing can mess with those anymore. So that's really important to do the 2 critical tasks first. Create a short to-do list. No to-do list should have more than 5 items on it. If you have more to-do items than that, you are not planning realistically. Probably not all of them are equally important. They don't need to get done today. Move them to tomorrow, because tomorrow is a new day and you want to make sure you're doing all of your tasks equally well. So you need to make sure that your to-do list is manageable. The third area I want to touch upon is eliminating distractions. Obviously, having distractions like your phone or social media open, it's going to hinder your productivity. It's going to distract you. It's going to lead to this multitasking that we just talked about in the previous section that will diminish your focus. So it's best to eliminate distractions. Put your phone in a different room or turn it off and really try to focus just on the one critical task you're trying to accomplish. Remove any potential interruptions. If your colleague comes over to your desk and taps you on the shoulder, tell them you'll come talk to them in 20 minutes after you're done with the current task. And then go talk to them later. Don't forget. So you want to create a work environment where you can really concentrate and focus and stick to it. So really make sure that maybe the only window on your computer that's open is the task that you're working on, no additional windows, to prevent you from getting sidetracked. And it's really important to sort of be self-disciplined about this. You're working on one task, stick with it. So other things that are fairly obvious that you can do is you can turn off notifications on your phone. You can set a timer, and you really should resist doing other tasks during that time. Having a timer helps you stay on top of that one task, because you've made an agreement with yourself that in the next 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever the time frame may be, you are just working on this one task. And if an interruption occurs, as we already talked about, make a short note of it and then continue working on your current task. The next area to talk about is time management. We can practice efficient time management techniques to be more productive. One technique you might have heard about is the Pomodoro technique. That's the one I already have been sort of alluding to in the video leading up to this point. It's a technique where you set a timer for a specific period of time, and then you take a break, and then you set another timer for a specific period of time, and then you take another break, etc. You can read up more about this online. There are plenty of descriptions for how you can do it. You can do, multiple of these focus intervals in a row, and then take a bigger break after that. There's many different ways in which you can apply this task. I found for myself, I find it most productive to do that for my most critical tasks that day, because I can focus for 20 minutes and then take a short break and then focus again for 20 minutes and take another short break. And that overall makes me feel very accomplished. I have a hard time doing this technique for the entire day because it's very structured and it kind of actually stresses me out. So I try to be calm about it, and I just do it for however long I can manage to do it. And if later on I get sidetracked or not, that's fine, because I've already done the most critical tasks anyways. So you can play around with that and see how it works for you. That's my recommendation, to just do 2. That's called a Pomodoro. If you have one focus block and then a break, that's called a Pomodoro. So I do 2 Pomodoros in a row. I recommend you do the same. That's been working well for me. Then the next technique is time blocking. So making sure that you allocate specific time slots on your calendar for similar tasks to help you prevent context switching, to keep you more focused. And it'll also help you do similar things. So it's, you can, for example, block some time to check your email for specific, 30 minutes, again, no longer than that, during, the morning hours, and then maybe again during lunchtime, and then at the end of the workday. So that prevents you from doing constant email checking throughout the workday. And then additional things you can do is taking breaks to recharge. That's really important, because I have not done this in the past and it has led to a little bit of burnout. So I really recommend that you do it, because it'll keep you more focused on the rest of your tasks. So absolutely take breaks to recharge. And then the last thing about time management is to make sure that you schedule these very important tasks you're working on during your peak productivity hours. And these are different for each single person. For me, for example, I know my peak productivity hours are early in the morning, probably up until 11 o'clock. Anything later than 11 o'clock, I usually just can't get any good focus work done after that point, because I'm starting to get distracted, I'm starting to get tired. So I usually make sure that I do my focus tasks early in the morning so that I can feel accomplished regardless of what happens for the rest of the day. But for you, that might look different. You might like, being productive in the afternoon or focusing in the afternoon. So figure out for yourself, when do you perform best in focus time, and schedule your tasks accordingly. It doesn't make sense for me, for example, to schedule a focus task in the afternoon when I know I'm not going to be at my peak and I'm going to take longer for it. I'm going to probably perform worse than I would have in the morning. So I probably just save it for another day and do it early on in the morning and do it much faster and much better. And a bonus is actually, you can reward yourself if you've completed a focus period and if you've taken a break. This is actually really important. I've sometimes, as I was trying to get myself towards taking more breaks to recharge my batteries, I started rewarding myself by, giving myself a little sticker on my computer and kind of counting how many stickers I could collect, just to visualize for myself, I am taking breaks and I am trying to recharge. I'm also focusing, because I don't get to take a break without the focus time ahead of it. So it was very rewarding to give myself that little emoji sticker or whatever it may be. Maybe for you it's, another glass of tea or whatever you find rewarding. So I highly recommend you think about that if you're having trouble, going through these focus points or these focus periods and taking breaks. And then the last topic to talk about is maintaining a work-life balance. It's really important to take care of yourself. You'll do better work if you do than if you don't. It doesn't make sense to work 15 hours a day without a break, because you won't do well. You will not perform at your best if you're that overworked. So really try to prioritize self-care, get enough rest, exercise regularly, eat well. It's really important to make sure that you're just in a healthy position, maybe even emotionally, right? Like, make sure you're attending to your emotions. I've done plenty of videos around, dealing with your own emotions in the past. So these all lead into better well-being, which are really important for you to achieve whatever ambitious goal you're driving towards. You're not going to get there if you don't have the right work-life balance. So make sure you do whatever it may be. Maybe it's meditation, maybe it's taking a break after a focused task, maybe it's exercising in the morning, going for a run. Make sure you do whatever you like to do that'll promote your overall well-being, energy, mental clarity, focus. In the long run, it'll lead to more productive outcomes. So it's important to take this seriously. And I can't stress enough how important it is to take breaks after focus times. I've myself done in the past, a lot of focus times without taking breaks, and it's really not conducive to producing great work. So now I'm trying to take more breaks and being more deliberate about what I do. And another point I want to make here is it's really important to be compassionate with yourself about this. So keep in mind, what would your best friend tell you about something? So for example, if tasks take longer than you thought they would, or you don't get as much done as you thought you would, that's okay. You're going to be fine. Maybe you'll learn from this and hopefully you'll plan your day differently next time. And you'll also plan your project a little bit more accurately next time. But it's important to be compassionate with yourself. You try to do your best. So keep that in mind, and it'll hopefully help you feel better about work and maintain better work-life balance. So I hope that some of these points help you to be more productive in your workday, help you deal with your projects more efficiently, help you just be more resilient at work, increase your well-being, and just help you get more done and be healthier at it. And again, if you want to make sure you have the support of your boss, check out my free guide below for easy steps that'll help you transform your relationship with your boss in a direction where they become your success partner and they'll help you support you on your projects. So do check that out. I have a link down in the description for you with very easy steps that you can apply today, and I guarantee they help you. All right, I hope you found this helpful. Let me know in the comments below if you're going to be using any of my productivity techniques and what are the issues that you're struggling with on a daily basis for your projects. Love to hear from you.